G'day fellas and welcome to Patch Day. We are finally here. It is on the horizon. We've spotted the oasis. You thought we were going to... Well, you thought we weren't going to make it, didn't you? Well, we finally did. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not long to go. Today's the 11th of July. Technically for me, it's the 12th of July. I'll let them off. And the 18th of July is when it comes through. So we've got a week to go before all of these changes come through. We've got a massive amount of changes, gameplay changes, map changes, civ balance changes. That's what I want to get into, the meat and potatoes of it. But before we do, this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already checked it out, Age of Mythology Retold is having its closed beta. There's going to be a lot of content on this channel regarding AOM Retold, so if you're looking forward to that, well, you're in luck. Otherwise, if you want to get your hands on it, you can play this weekend from July 12th, so this is about 14 hours from when this video goes live, maybe 13 hours, somewhere around that, and you'll be able to play for 2 days, but you have to have a copy, and I think you need like the premium edition. So look, don't get mad at me for that. I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you what it is. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let's get into it, because I tell you what, I've grown a little bit bored of the stale Season 7 meta. Let's get down into the meat and potatoes. Of course, we've got our brand new season rewards. You've got a little Kraken award right there. Definitely nice to see. Some new icons. New map pool rotation, Arabia, Cliffside, Rocky River, Himayama Gorge, Hillendale, Canal, the Pit, and Baltic. So you want to veto those water maps, Baltic and Canal. Technically, Himayama's got a little bit of water on it, and so does Rocky River. But we'll let it slide. These guys are fine. They're allowed to be in the cool crew. Sorry, Canal. Baltic, you're getting... Yeah, you guys are getting the veto. And team rank map pool, Arabia, Cliffside, Rocky River, Canal, Gorge. So a lot of similarities there. Migration is in here. Hideout is in here. I honestly, Hideout on team games was fun. I really liked that. That was fun. 3v3 Hideout in the middle. Oh my, chef's kiss. Forts, and we've got water holes. So definitely see some big vetoes in there. Migration, probably Fort's going to get vetoed there as well. Build Spotlight, new map Sakutra. Wow, we're unveiling a new map Sakutra. Oh. I like that they didn't just throw this in the last minute because someone in Red Bull Wallalol was like, hey, Sakutra's a cool map. Design rework, attack move. We've made an adjustment to the attack move behavior. Now, can I just say before we get into this, there is some of the balance changes, I may be aware of them, but like everything else, I've got no idea. I'm looking at this for the first time. So what you're about to witness are my genuine thoughts, my genuine reactions. I'm just going to preface it by saying that. So we've made an adjustment to the default attack move behavior designed to help prevent accidental misclicks. On PC, this can be changed back by setting the attack move behavior setting under game options to legacy. Check out the full details of this rework below. Okay, so what I'm hoping, I mean, I don't know how they'd really fix this, because at the moment, the way that attack move works, you know what? I hope they make it like League of Legends, where it attacks the unit closest to your cursor rather than the unit closest to itself, if that makes sense. It's easier to explain in a game, so maybe we'll get into that later. But anyway, we'll have a look at it. Design, I'm excited about this. Anytime they're like reworking mechanics, that is big for me. General, fixed an issue where scouts can skip their reload animations. This one did finally get picked up. We saw this in a Russ game recently. Good job. This bug has been fixed like 5 times, and it just keeps coming back. Devs, I'm going to call you out right now. What is it, like your version management probably needs a little bit of work here. Like, this bug has been in the game. It keeps finding its way back into the game. They do one patch and it's just gone. It's like, oh, whoop, the scouts can reload animations quickly again. AI updates, a little bit of changes here to the AI. Of course, if there's anything in here that you want to see and have a look at, you can either pause the video or I'll leave a link in the description to where you can get it. Hotkeys, a little bit of a change there. UI, UX, what do we got? Population capacity reach will only be shown once, even if multiple units are produced at once. Hopefully that includes for replays, because there's nothing worse than 200, 200, 200, 200 on both sides, and they're just wonderful. Really good change. Added a free-for-all map pool and allowed for the map vetoes to be specified in that pool. I knew that they weren't working. I knew that the map vetoes weren't working. That's a very nice way of saying we fixed that map vetoes weren't working in FFA. I knew they weren't working. I already knew it. Localization, couple of updates. Maps, Sakutra. You guys would have seen this map before. Bit of a meme map. Water has no fish in it. You only use the water for reducing the size of the playing area, as well as doing some sneaky little drops, I guess. Anyway, general map changes. Here we go. Sheep now produce 200 food instead of 250. Okay. 2 additional sheep spawn under each player's starting town center. Okay, so basically, before, it was 250 times 3 for 750. Now it's 200 times 5 for 1,000. So what we will see from this is bigger, more forgiving runs with the scout that you can do. So before with the scout, you had to get back normally before like 2 minutes, 33 minutes. Now it's going to be that you can actually get your age up in, and that you can transition off food and you still don't need your scout back. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see players bringing that scout back at 4 minutes, 35 minutes, somewhere around that region with, 12 sheep each. So what do the devs say? The intention of the changes above is to guarantee a safe amount of sheep for each player and reduce the chance of game swinging as a result of one player getting the majority of the sheep on the map. With this change, the overall food on a standard map is kept mostly the same. This is a really good move, and I 100% love this. The reason why is because I played one game. All it took was one game on Himayama. I watched the replay. I literally, I can still picture it in my head. We scouted the exact same amount of map. I got 4 sheep. He got 17 sheep. And it was just how the map spawned. I just went the wrong way. He went the right way. And he got rewarded with a huge amount of sheep. Subsequently used that to, get a nice little castle age transition. Whereas I'm having to go out onto the map and getting forced back in. Anyway, map-specific changes. So overall, this is like an amazing change. Very, very good. I'm kind of curious whether they put more sheep onto the map with this, but it doesn't sound like it. I mean, like there's extra sheep under the TC, but it doesn't sound like there's any extra sheep out on the map. I guess with 2 additional sheep, that means that you've got an extra 4, 8, 12, 16 that you're covering. So you're covering 16 of the sheep. Yeah, I guess that works out right. Yeah, 16 and then 4. Yeah, okay, there's no extra sheep on the map. Cool. All right, that works. So obviously it still hurts, but it just hurts less. That's essentially what happens now. Baltic fixed an issue where pit mines and Uvas could not be built due to tree spawning nearby. Cliffside, neutral gold and stone mines no longer spawn on the cliffside in a way that prevents Uva pit placement. Nice little fixes here for our Malian friends. Same here for Himayama and our Mongol friends, of course. Warring Island fix a crash that could happen when generating a Warring Islands team game on a small map size. There you go. All right, meat and potatoes. Are you guys ready? The balance, the bug fixes, the best. This is why we're here. This is the most important stuff. Fixed an issue that caused performance issues when interacting with the player profile. I did see that. Your FPS would drop down massively. Fixed a bug where the game would crash if a player clicked on a unit or upgrade in the global queue during a replay and free camera was turned off. I don't think we ever had that one. Fixed a bug where the game would crash if the player pressed Control H while observing a match and free camera. I don't think I ever observed that one. Fix an issue where sometimes a prayer tent would not give its influence bonus after researching monastic shrines. Destroying a Stonewall Bastion will now destroy neighboring wall segments to guarantee that large units like rams can move through the resulting hole. So the Stonewall Bastion, if we take a little bit of a look here, I just want to double check what they're talking about. So Stonewall Bastion to me is that the tower? What is a Stonewall Bastion? Heavy defensive tower? It's not that, is it? What is a Stonewall Bastion? Destroying a Stonewall Bastion? I know Bastion from Overwatch, but is it like a segment? Will now destroy neighboring wall segments to guarantee that large units... Is that it? I thought it already did that. I thought it already... Is this not already in the game? I feel like this is already in the game. The reason why I'm saying this is because sometimes in these patch notes, they put stuff in the patch notes that is already in the game. It's like, no, you fixed that last patch, guys. Don't worry. I feel like this was a Season 6 fix. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe you guys can provide some more insight. Addressed issues with information leaks in Fog of War related to construction UI. I'm not looking at anyone in particular, but let me just say right now, they make a bit of a buzzing sound if you get too close to them. So what does this mean? So, if you draw a wall over Fog of War where an enemy has placed a building, that wall will come up as you cannot place it. If there is no building there, it will say you can place it. So people would drag a big wall across an area to see whether there was a dock placed down. Well, now it's basically saying that it will let you place the wall down, and when your enemy gets to that position, or when you get to that position, then yeah, your wall just will fail to build. So this is really nice. This was one of those things where it's like it technically is a mechanic of the game, but we did see a player. I can't remember exactly what happened with him, but 3DB used he actually used this in a tournament game to determine that someone was expanding. It was on 4 lakes. He used it to determine whether someone was expanding to his lake or not. And then when he scouted it through the fog of war with this, he moved all of his units down there, and it looked really sus. It looked like he was map hacking. And he claims he wasn't map hacking. He was just using this bug right here. So really nice job by the devs to finally fix this one. Move or attack move commands issued outside the playable area of the map will now be... Thank you. God, it was so simple. It was so simple. Oh, my lord. Okay, this one. I shouldn't have to explain it. I'll just quickly explain it. You right-click over where you want your units to move, and it says, you cannot move here. You cannot move here. It's like, I don't care if I can't move here. Just move as close to that position as I possibly can. Why did it take 3 years to fix this? I don't know. We reported it the day that we played the game. I was like, this is a bit of a weird bug. Why is it giving us this error? Shouldn't it just move the units over there? It just, like, didn't issue a command at all. Anyway, 3 years. It's finally fixed. Well done, devs. Good job. You know, it finally made it this way to the top of the Trello table. Fixed a crash that could occur while loading into a multiplayer game. I think we've all had this crash before. Very frustrating, but good to see. And defenses now properly show the building's default weapon range and pre and post construction. Okay, nice little bonus there, because sometimes you'll put down an outpost and you're like, yeah, this I got him right here, but then you don't. You thought you had it, but you didn't. Design rework, attack move. We've made an adjustment to the default attack move behavior. Previously, when issuing an attack move to a unit or a building, the attack move was converted into a forced attack command, as if you had Oh, they fixed that. Oh, so wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, that's so good. This made it particularly difficult to use overwhelmed. This made it particularly difficult to use attack move around areas with a lot of farms, and would often lead to misclicks where you accidentally attack move a unit in a group instead of the ground nearby. Wow. Okay. That's wonderful. So basically what would happen if you attack move, but you accidentally click on a unit, it tells all of your units to attack that unit, and it's like it overrules it as an attack command. Whereas it should be an attack move, right? Like where you say, I want my 100 units to just attack move all of the, like, let's say you've got 1 army and 2 armies, and you say, I want to attack move, and you accidentally click on the trebuchet at the back, they're all going to go and attack on the trebuchet at the back. At least that's how I think it worked, if I remember correctly. So you had to be very careful. And we actually saw players in tournaments lose games because of this. There was a famous game, Hera lost the game against, I want to say it was Marine Lord, and it was back in the back in the animation cancelled days, and he accidentally attack moved on an enemy unit instead of attack moving the ground, and all of his knights did a conga line for like 6 seconds. He must have like attack moved and then like moved to another screen, and when he came back, all of his knights were dead because they were like conga lining to attack a single knight that he had attack moved on accidentally. So he lost that game because of it. I think he won the tournament though. But yeah, you can even like Google Hera conga line and it will come up. That's how. Yeah, I remember that game. It's crazy how they like fix all this stuff. Like you see a game that happened like 3 years ago and it's like, oh yeah, we fixed that bug. Thank you, devs. The new default attack move behavior always treats the attack move as a ground click, so that when you issue an attack move to a unit or a building, your units will attack move to their location. On PC, this can be changed back by setting the attack move behavior setting under game options to legacy. So as an example, this can be bad, but this can also be good. So as an example, let's say you're controlling Springalds. Now, when you're controlling Springalds, if you right-click on the enemy Springalds, there's a... Oh, yeah, I guess it doesn't really make a difference. You know what? It's fine. I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna say, wonderful, great. I can't imagine anybody wanting to change it back to Legacy, except like, I don't know, like Don Hardy. He's probably the only one. Game mode, Dominion. When a king is garrisoned in a transport ship, it is no longer possible to delete the ship. Oh, wow, finally fixed it. You know, it couldn't hot fix this after 2 weeks. Had to wait for Season 8 update. Look, at least it's fixed. Thank you, but like, I completely stopped playing FFA just because of this. Like, the combination of not being able to downvote water maps, and then like this where people would, like, I played games where people, like half the people deleted their kings. It's like, what are you meant to do? How can you play the game mode? Anyway, good that it's fixed. Thank you. And I'm glad it's fixed now. You know, it could have been fixed in Season 9, but it's fixed here. Balance and gameplay updates. Docks and House of Wisdom now have both an economic and a military rally point. When setting a rally... Oh, by the way, can I just also state for attack move, units that come out of buildings should automatically, by default, be on attack move. I'm just going to throw that out there. Can I get a hell yeah? Thank you. Thank you for the hell yeah. Okay. Docks and House of Wisdom now have both an economic and a military rally point. When setting a rally point with right-click, select the target. Setting the target to a fishing deposit or a trade settlement will default to setting an economic rally. A fishing deposit? Whilst anything else will set a military rally. Fishing ships and traders will only travel... Hold on. Oh my god, docks and House of Wisdom. I completely neglected to realize it was talking about docks as well. And I'm thinking, like, why the hell does my House of Wisdom have an economic point for a fishing deposit? And I was like, I was gonna blow up, dude. Like, what are you devs on? And then I realized it's for docks. This is kind of cool. I like this. So now you right-click the fishing deposit, the fishing boats go there. You don't have to do the shift-click, because basically what you'd do before was you would shift-click to the fishing deposit, and then you would shift-click to where you want your army to go. And then that would be like your fishing boats would go to the fishing deposit, and then your army would go to the fishing deposit, and then wherever you wanted them to go. So now that's fixed. So it says fishing ships and traders will only travel to the economic rally point when they're created, and all other ships will travel to the military one. Really good change. Really nice. Exactly how it should be, right? Super cool. Rally points can now be queued using the hotkey or command card. I don't know what that's all about. It's now possible to buy and sell resources at the market in batches of 500 by holding shift. You know, this was something that I thought would just be a thing. It was so intuitive that, like, even to this day, I still hold shift while I'm selling and buying at the market. Even though I know it doesn't work, in my head it should work like that, and I'm still holding it. So well played to the devs for finally fixing up this bad boy. Because that's going to be nice. That's going to make it a lot easier. We'll say that much. It's also going to make it a lot more or a lot less forgiving as well, because you're going to be like, all right, I've got a little bit of excess wood here, you know, 11,000 wood, and then you hit one button and it's like, boom, it's all gone. Oh god, what have I done? I need wood, and then you buy it all back, and then it swings the other way. After defeating a forced attack target, buildings will scan for a new target instead of always falling back to their previous target. Okay. I don't know exactly how that works. Ooh, or maybe I do, because they would stop firing. Maybe that's the bug that they're fixing. Siege weapons that are too close to their target to fire on them will now attempt to move away on the target to a position where they're able to fire. They will only do this if they are attacking a target that cannot move, such as a building. So let's say you bring in some trebuchets, a little bit too close for comfort. They will instead, when you right-click, so if you attack move them and they've got a barracks right next to them and they want to attack the barracks, then they'll move backwards and then attack the barracks. I guess that's it. Horseman range increased from 0.29 to 0.38. Ghazi and Sipahi unaffected. So a little bit of a buff right there for the horsemen. This is nice. Secondary town centers have had garrison slots increase from 7 to 8. Dude, one change. They were like from 8 to 7 and it completely destroyed the secondary town centers. They were like, you know what? We just made expanding super just unpopular. Villages, this is good, man. I mean, this is an English buff, right? Like, congratulations, the English. Villages will now deposit. Okay, you guys might get triggered at this, but I will just say it right now. I just had chicken nuggets delivered to me. Give me a second here. Oh my god. As a 33-year-old man, chicken nuggets still taste as good as they did when I was 3. They probably taste better, I'll be honest. It's probably because they're adding new things into them, but... Bro, I can't wait to finish this video to finish those chicken nuggets. I'm kind of tempted right now just to do it in a mission. Sorry, guys. No, not really. All right. Villagers will now deposit carried resources after completing construction of a farm. Wonderful, wonderful change. So what does this mean? This means that if you grab 10 villagers from your wood line, you don't have to make them build a mill and then shift click around that mill first and then like do that, because the way it would work is they would deposit all their resources at the mill when they built it. Now you just complete the farm and they automatically deposit it. Wonderful. And it just makes things easier, right? It's one less click that you have to do. You don't have to deposit your resources before you send them all off. You just grab 10 vills, make farms around your TC, don't have to think about it. Beautiful change. Naval updates. All civs. We don't play water, so we're just going to go... No, I'm just kidding. All right. Dhows and canoes now fire arrows from the head of the ship instead of the center. Big change. Is this actually a big change? I mean, it means that they're now closer to their target, so you would expect that the arrows are going to be slightly more focused on the target because it's going less distance. That's the way I would think about it. Heated shot. Archer ships now switch to incendiary arrow effects after researching heated shot. Visual representation of the upgrade only. Okay. Fishing boat line of sight reduced by 25%. Good change. Fishing boat train time increased from 25 to 30 seconds. Good change. Nerfing to water. Abbasid dynasty and the Ayyubids. Docks now only show the range for the healing aura. Okay. Civ specific changes. Oh gosh, this doesn't look very big. Maybe it's just the Abbasids. All right. Here we go. Abbasid dynasty. Corrected a bug where medical centers would persist on destroyed landmark and capital town centers. Okay. That's a very specific bug. Byzantines. Olive Grove cost increased from 60 to 70 wood. Dramon move speed increase. Dramon Greek fire based damage increase. Okay. So the big change here is the Olive Grove. Hold on, we're not finished yet. Corrected an issue where Pilgrim Flask would overlap with Shield Wall on Lametani when playing on Xbox console. Okay. Olive Oil is properly deposited when a villager carrying it is garrisoned. Okay. So the big change here is the Olive Grove change. And you might look at this and say it's pretty small. This isn't small. This is big, right? It means that before you were getting 7 farms, now you're only getting 6 farms. That's a big difference because when you're making 60 farms, it's going to slow down that economic growth that the Byzantines love around that castle age. And we've seen players especially going for Byzantine Olive Grove openings where they get 2 Olive Groves down very, very quickly. It's not going to be as viable anymore. You're going to have to delay that age up a little bit. We're going to expect to see a bit of a fallout in that early castle age, mid castle age, late castle age because of this. Might seem like a small difference, but I promise you, this will make a pretty sizable difference to the Byzantines' power. So, good change. Let's check in with the Chinese. Radius. Increase the radius of the Imperial Palace spy ability from 1.25 tiles to 3 tiles. Okay. That is the weirdest buff I've ever... I can't imagine, like, how did you guys come up with this one? Increase the duration of the Imperial Palace spy ability from 10 to 15 seconds. So basically, they're just trying to make Imperial Palace, like, cool again. Like, they're trying to make it like Fetch. Like, you're not going to make the Imperial Palace cool. Like, Siege is too strong. But I will say this does buff 1 base China. So typically, in my experience, when you're playing the Chinese, 2 base China, definitely want to go for the clock tower. 1 base China, Imperial Palace is an option for you. You don't have to, but it's definitely more of an option. And the reason why is because on 2 bases, you've got a larger economy, which means that you can support siege, and obviously all the units that are required to protect the siege. Whereas with the Imperial Palace, you're on 1 base, you're more focused on doing raiding, and that is going to complement you now with this. To be honest, I just would have preferred if they had reduced the cooldown. Like, just it feels like the cooldown's like 2 minutes or 3 minutes or something. Like, just reduce the cooldown. Make it so I've got map hacks all the time. Not all the time, but you guys get the idea. Corrected an issue where the battering ram was missing from Zhukunu radial menu. This is an Xbox issue, right? Okay. Delhi Sultanate. We got a lot of... Oh, Lord. Oh, English. Oh, gosh. English are getting nerfed. Sorry, English fans. Upgrades now count towards the tech score based on the upgrade's base time cost. Fishing ship damage decreased from 7 to 6. Garrison scholars in dock production speed modifier decreased from 30 to 20%. Hussar Academy can now be selected with research shortcuts, so that's your F6 button, I think, is the default. Fishing boat arrows no longer miss their targets. Oh, you're in trouble now. I can see why they changed this from 7 to 6, because as soon as they no longer miss their targets, this means that you really can't contest the Delhi on water now, because that was how you did it, right? Like you'd have 2 vills and one of them's getting focused down and the other one's moving back and forward. Anyway, manuscript trade is now a default bonus for the Civ. Manuscript trade? Can we double check what this is? Delhi Sultanate manuscript trade. I feel like it's probably... Is it from the dock? Just looking over here first. I think it's from the dock. Scholars garrison in docks provide 30% faster production speed and contribute to global research. So it used to take 30 seconds to research that, and so now it's just like a bonus. But garrison scholars in dock production speed modifier decreased from 30% to 20%. I'm going to assume that... Because I can garrison in a dock already, right? So that's the 30% down to 20%. And then I can also get manuscript trade, which used to take my 30% up to 60%, but now it's just taking it up to 50% as a default. I think I'm reading that correctly. Dock garrison capacity increased from 3 to 4. So that's for your scholars. And docks now generate influence as mosques do. So they can provide Wi-Fi. Docks will now provide a free scholar in its garrison if it was the first dock constructed before a mosque. Wow, that's kind of cool. I like that. So basically they're saying like, hey, if you're on a water map, you can play Delhi and you can be oppressive with your fishing boats that will never miss. And on top of that, you don't have to go into a mosque to get the free scholar to get all the bonuses associated with that. And keep in mind, it's a lot of bonus, right? Like, this is kind of wild how good these guys are going to be on water now. Because remember that they nerfed fishing boats, right? They went from 25 seconds to 30 seconds, but you've got a plus 50% modifier on speed, production speed. So that's kind of wild, man. I like that. I like that. I don't play water, so it doesn't affect me, but I like that. Let's go into the English and let's see exactly how they bury them. Ooh. All right, I may have accidentally leaked one of these. You guys will see the White Tower production speed did get reduced from 100% to 75%. So yes, sorry about that. If I can just explain myself to any devs watching, okay? The patch came out like, I don't know, what was it, 3 months ago or something, right? And then in my and then I may have read something in a certain server somewhere that talked about this change. And at some point, those two things become one, where it's like, I'm not sure if the changes have gone through because it's been so long. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, it's totally, it's been nerfed. So anyway, sorry for that. But yeah, unintentional. And King train time increased from 35 seconds to 50 seconds. Big changes to the English. I wonder if this, like, to me, this is a good thing, right? Like, for everyone on the ladder who's playing against the English, you're definitely going to feel this. It means that you've got 15 seconds more to get the town center up. It means you've got 15 seconds more to get the spearmen out. But you want to know what I think will happen? I wouldn't be surprised if we just see people rushing this landmark. I don't know why we didn't see it already. You should be putting like 10 vills on this landmark, in my mind. There is no tangible difference between 10 vills on this landmark and 2 vills on this landmark when it comes to second TC timing. Absolutely none. Like 5 seconds difference. And what, you're gonna really challenge 5-second difference on a second TC versus, like, you know, having your king out a minute faster? Like, it's not even a discussion, bro. All right. Overall, definitely the right changes. White Tower has been very strong for a long time. And yeah, I think this is definitely a smart move. So well played to them. Gonna nerf their castle age timing, gonna nerf their responses to siege a little bit. But overall, I think that the White Tower is still very strong, and I still think the king coming out for free is still very strong. So English, obviously affected, but definitely not going to be as impacted as some other civs. French. Town centers work 10, 15, 20, 25% faster per age change from they buffed it. Oh, 15, 15, 20, 25. So it means that in the Dark Age, you've now got a whole 4 minutes of faster training villagers. So that could mean over the course of the Dark Age that you're getting close to almost 1 extra villager. Very nice. Red Palace landmark influence increased by +1 tile to match normal keeps. Okay, very good. Doesn't really change anything, right? For anybody trying to squeeze in more buildings, it doesn't. It just means that your suboptimal positioning on buildings is more favorable. Artillery shot has been reworked. Targeted ability that increases the range of the cannon by 5 tiles and damage by 30% for 1 shot. 5 tiles? Hold on. Can only... okay. Phew. I was going to say some bad things about this. Can only target buildings. Can target and shoot into fog of war. Reveals the shot location through fog for 3 seconds. 200-second cooldown. Okay. All right. At first, I was going to get really upset because I'm like, okay, so you're telling me I can just build cannons with 15 range and just kill the enemy culverins because I've got 30% more damage. No, it's only on buildings. They can shoot into Fog of War, reveals the shot location through fog for 3 seconds, and it's a 200-second cooldown. So what circumstances are you using this? When are you using this? You are mainly almost always going to use this on keeps. You're especially going to be using this against the English. So you're going to be using it against the Berkshire. That's going to be the main thing. You want to use it against the Berkshire. Very, very important. So really good changes. Holy Roman Empire. Marching drills move speed bonus decreased to 5% in the Dark Age and 10% in the Feudal Age. They needed it. It was kind of wild. Dark Age was going ham. Japanese. Shinobi blink cast time reduced from 0.85 to 0.4. So they halved the cast time here. Shinobi sabotage cast time reduced from 2 to 1.25. Atakabune. I think this is their ship. Their big ship, so a little bit of a nerf here. Yumi Ashigaru feudal health increased from 60 to 65. Tatara cost reduced from 75 gold, 25 stone to 50 gold, 25 stone. Okay, so they could be looking at a potential Dark Age angle. Probably not. Koka Township now benefits from Military Academy. Okay, so that's the decrease in time it takes to build units. And Japanese corrected the selection of some Japanese buildings where the selection bounds extended beyond its footprint. So realistically, a very slight buff to Yumi Ashigaru. I say slight buff, but this is big, right? Like, this is almost 10%. That's a lot of health that's coming onto these guys, and it could make the difference in a number of matchups, especially with like +1 ranged armor. And then slight changes to the Shinobi. Is it going to be enough? Probably not. But anyway, that's it. Mongols. Let's check in with them, see what they've got. So I think overall for the Japanese, definitely the right direction for them. I'm kind of curious to see how the Yumi Ashigaru goes now, though. Mongols. Removed rally point command from Mongol Gur since they do not produce units. Okay, cool. Can we make it so that the Mongol Gur just continues to try to unpack rather than just fucking, like, I tell it to sit down and it's like, oh, sorry, there was a villager standing next to me for 0.3 of a second. I've decided I'm not going to unpack now. Oh, that's annoying. Destroyed Mongol landmarks that haven't unpacked can now be attacked while under repair. There you go. Fixed a bug where technology queued at a prayer tent would be removed from the queue upon completion of monastic shrines, and Mongol pasture sheep production time reduced from 140 seconds to 116. That's a nice little buff for them. This is in concert with the changes to sheep. Oh, okay, never mind. Mangadai. Costs reduced from 120 food 40 gold to 90 food 60 gold. Double production cost reduced from 160 stone to 150 stone. So not only have they reduced the total cost, but they've made it gold heavy, which is a very good thing because Mangadai are very nicely paired with trade. So Mangadai are going to be more of a focus on trade just because they've got a larger expanse of gold. Really nice. Obviously works very well with the Keshik, but this, you'll hopefully see less gold being stacked up by those big trader numbers, 25, 30 traders, that sort of thing. Not going to happen anymore. And train time improved from 30 seconds to 28 seconds. So reduced the training time. Secondary TC, they reduced the cost on it. Early Horseman ranged armor increased from 1 to 2, so now you can actually go stable in the Dark Age. So some nice little Mongol buffs there. Definitely not some quality of life improvements that I would have liked to have seen to the Gur especially. But yeah, overall, not bad. Malians. Fishing boats drop off 10% of their food as gold. Okay, sure. I don't think anyone was asking for that, but we'll take it. Ottomans. Military school train time multiplier reduced from 5x to 4.75x. So Ottomans getting a bit of a nerf here, definitely called for. Istanbul Observatory is working as intended when landmark is destroyed and being rebuilt. I don't know what this means. I don't know what that means. Grand Galley scale production speed per age like their influence does, and Istanbul Observatory landmark now applies to Grand Galleys. Okay. Ottoman just getting a whole bunch of bug fixes and a very slight nerf to military training time. Train time multiplier reduced from 5. Yes. Hold on. Isn't this a buff? Hold on. Isn't this a buff? If the train time multiplier is 5x, so it takes 10 seconds to produce your unit, 5x puts that to 50 seconds, but to 4.75x means it's now 47.5. They buffed the Ottomans. Right? Like that's what it's saying to me. That doesn't make sense. Did we double test it? Did we test this? Lodge a fishing boat train time increased to 46 seconds for the Rus. So very, very slight. Obviously this is in concert with the rest of the fishing boat changes. Okay, variant civ changes. Ayyubids. Corrected an issue where Ayyubid villagers could not construct stonewall bastion segments. Very strange. Military wing reinforcement. Feudal age. It now takes 15 seconds for the first desert raider to spawn. This is in concert with the king that we saw change for the English. Economic wing growth. Reduced number of vills from 8 to 7. I may have also accidentally spoiled that one as well. But look, it's good that... It's good that it has happened. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think it's still going to be very popular, economic wing growth in the Castle Age. And trade wing advisors from Feudal Age Arthebegs from 2 to 3, and Castle Age Arthebegs from 4 to 5. Jeanne d'Arc, artillery shot reworked, hasn't changed anything. Jussi's legacy corrected an issue with Temple of the Sun where the building has 7,500 health instead of 5,000. I did notice that. But yeah, okay, got fixed up. And that's it. Coming up. That wraps up everything we have in store for you in this update. Be sure to keep your eyes peeled for our follow-up patch, which we're targeting to release a few weeks after the Red Bull Walla Arana qualifiers have completed. We have lots more changes coming that we are excited to get into your hands. Here's a sneak peek at what we have in store for our next patch. A full rework of the Russ bounty system. The Deer Stones will grant access to a new unit called the Khan's Hunters. The House of Learning will receive some new and compelling technologies. A mid-season map pool refresh. Well, this was nice. I don't know why we just couldn't have done this for last season. Like, why did I need to play the same map for 3 months? It doesn't make sense. Many more balance. Like, this can't be a lot of effort. This is probably like an hour of someone's time to do this. Many more balance tweaks. This patch will also see the return of our seasonal event map monsters. Oh, those little guys. Okay. So my feedback on what this is this is a solid balance patch with some solid changes to a couple of the mechanics. Few little changes to things like fishing boats, some important changes like this one here for Dominion. That's what it is. Let's talk about what it isn't though. This isn't what I hoped for. I waited a long time for this patch. Last season was similar, where there wasn't much. Of course, there's like the meat and potatoes is always going to be the balance changes, right? Like any kind of little changes like that are going to be decent. And to be honest, we're getting to the pointy end of balance where we don't need a lot of changes. We just need little ones now because it's slowly getting to the point where we're working out every single civ, and balance is becoming slowly closer together. But there's still a huge amount of work that needs to be done with Age of Empires 4. And while I'm thankful for this patch, and while I appreciate this patch, I still can't get the feeling out of my mind that it feels like I'm on life support right now. That to me, that's what it feels like. And I don't know, maybe that's just me being a spoiled brat. But no changes still. Again, another season goes by where there's no changes to spectator mode. Still. Right, like, as far as I'm aware, Capture Age, the guys who did spectator mode, are not working on Age of Empires 4, and they won't be working on Age of Empires 4. And that means that a lot of the content that people consume for Age of Empires 4 is done through that, and that obviously, that's disappointing. But it's not just that. There's other things as well. There's, there's a huge amount of opportunity for improvements to be made to Age of Empires 4 in the way of the quality of life, and we just don't see those coming through. So look, overall for what it is, it's a good patch, but overall for what it isn't, it's a sad state of affairs. Anyway, we'll leave it there, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm looking forward to Season 8. I don't want to get your hopes down. I do want to say I'm looking forward to Season 8. These are some great changes. And yeah, other than that, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.